Hey guys, let's talk about something many of you have experienced, the dreaded friend zone. You meet someone amazing, you connect, but somehow, you end up as the great friend, never the one they see romantically. It's a painful place to be, feeling stuck, watching from the sidelines. But what if it doesn't have to be this way? What if there were strategies to showcase your value and spark attraction? Today we're diving deep into 10 actionable tips to change your dating game. Get ready to take notes and transform your love life. Let's get into it and change your dating game for good. Let's kick things off with the foundation of all attraction. Confidence. Not loud arrogance, but true confidence. It's an inner knowing of your worth, believing you bring value to any interaction. Genuine confidence signals security and self-respect. It tells her you complement, not complete each other. Confidence is in your eye contact, posture, and decisiveness. Hold eye contact, stand tall, and be decisive. Next up, and this is a big one that so many guys overlook, is setting boundaries. What do I mean by boundaries in this context? I mean defining what you will and won't accept, how you expect to be treated, and protecting your own time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's about not being a doormat, not being endlessly available for her platonic needs at the expense of your own, and subtly communicating that your interest in her isn't purely altruistic or friendly. Boundaries are not about being difficult, they're about self-respect, and self-respect is incredibly attractive. It signals that you value yourself, and if you don't value yourself, why should she? The crucial thing about boundaries is that they need to be established early on. The initial interactions set the frame for the entire relationship. If you start off by being the guy who drops everything for her, listens to all her problems about other guys for hours, does all the favors without any reciprocation of romantic interest, you're cementing yourself firmly in the friend category. You're teaching her that your time and attention are freely available without any romantic investment on her part. This isn't a game, it's about conditioning. Let's talk about something that can instantly shift the dynamic from friendly to something more physical touch. This is often where guys who end up in the friend zone stumble. They keep interactions entirely verbal, entirely platonic, and miss crucial opportunities to build comfort, rapport, and, yes, attraction through appropriate touch. Think about it. Friends might hug, but the nature of touch between someone you're attracted to and a platonic friend is, or at least should be, different. A complete lack of physical contact, or contact that is strictly buddy-buddy, reinforces the friend label. You need to learn the art of escalating touch. Now, this is a delicate area. The key here is appropriate and calibrated. You don't want to be creepy, forceful, or make her uncomfortable. That's the quickest way to get rejected, not just friend-zoned. The goal is to introduce touch in a way that feels natural, light, and tests the waters. Start small. When you're making a point in conversation, a light, brief touch on her arm or shoulder. When you greet her or say goodbye, maybe a hug that's a little warmer, a little more intentional than a purely platonic one, perhaps lingering for just a split second longer. These small gestures break the touch barrier. Think of it as an escalation ladder. One of the biggest traps guys fall into on their way to the friend zone is a lack of clear communication about their intentions. Ambiguity is the enemy of romance. If she doesn't know you're interested, she'll assume you're just being friendly. You need to signal your romantic interest, sometimes directly. This doesn't mean a dramatic declaration of love. It means making it clear you see her as more than a friend. Clarity, even if it leads to a no, is better than uncertainty. This next tip might sound a bit counterintuitive, especially if you've been taught that being constantly attentive is the way to someone's heart, but it's crucial. Avoid being too available. Think about basic economics. Scarcity increases perceived value. If something is always there, always easily accessible, it's often taken for granted. The same psychological principle applies to attraction and dating. If you're always at her beck and call, instantly replying to texts, dropping your plans to accommodate hers, you inadvertently lower your perceived value. You become predictable, and a little too easy. Now, I'm not advocating for playing manipulative games like waiting exactly 3 hours to text back or pretending to be busy when you're not. That's juvenile and inauthentic. Let's talk about a massively underrated tool in your attraction arsenal, humor. Being able to make a woman laugh, genuinely laugh, is like a superpower. Humor does so many things simultaneously. It breaks the ice, it builds rapport, it creates positive emotional experiences, and it demonstrates intelligence and social acuity. When you're laughing together, you're connecting, and that connection, when combined with other attractive qualities, can easily steer things away from the purely platonic. The friend zone is often a very serious, earnest place. Humor injects lightness and fun. Think about the guys who often get stuck in the friend zone. They might be kind, supportive, and reliable, but are they fun? Are they playful? Do they create an atmosphere of enjoyment and lightheartedness? Often the answer is no. They might be too focused on being agreeable or trying to solve her problems, rather than just enjoying the interaction and making it enjoyable for her too. One of the most powerful, albeit indirect ways to avoid the friend zone is to continuously work on yourself. I'm talking about dedicated self-improvement. Often guys land in the friend zone not because they did something wrong, but because they weren't perceived as a catch, as someone who is truly high value across multiple areas of life. When you are actively engaged in becoming the best version of yourself, you naturally become more attractive, more interesting, and more confident. This isn't about changing her, it's about changing, and the byproduct is increased desirability. Think about the different facets of your life, your career or ambitions, your physical health and fitness, your knowledge and intellect, your social skills, your emotional intelligence, your passions and hobbies. Are you actively growing in these areas? A man who is passionate about his goals, who takes care of his body, who is intellectually curious and who is constantly learning and evolving is inherently more compelling than someone who is stagnant or complacent. This journey of self-improvement radiates an energy of purpose and vitality. Chapter 8. Decoding Desires. Reading and Responding to Body Language. Understanding body language, both hers and yours, is like having a secret decoder ring for social interactions, especially when it comes to attraction. So much of communication is nonverbal, and if you're oblivious to these subtle cues, you're flying blind and might misinterpret signals, leading you straight into the friend zone or worse, making her uncomfortable. Learning to read her body language gives you invaluable feedback on how she's perceiving you and your advances, allowing you to adjust your approach accordingly. This is about being perceptive and responsive. Pay close attention to her nonverbal signals when you interact. Is she making sustained eye contact, or are her eyes darting away? Does she lean in when you speak, or does she maintain a distance or even lean back? Does she mirror your posture or gestures? These are often signs of engagement and interest. Conversely, crossed arms, angling her body away from you, minimal eye contact, or curt responses can indicate disinterest or discomfort. Recognizing these signals early can save you from pursuing a connection that isn't there, or help you understand when you need to change your approach or pull back. Chapter 9. Beyond Small Talk. The Unifying Force of Shared Interests. While initial attraction can be sparked by looks or charm, a deeper connection, the kind that moves beyond acquaintanceship or superficial friendship, is often built on shared interests and values. If your conversations rarely move beyond polite small talk or her venting about her problems, you're not building the kind of common ground that fosters romantic feelings. Discovering and actively engaging in shared interests is a fantastic way to spend quality time together in a context that feels natural and fun, creating positive shared experiences that can bridge the gap from friend to potential partner. The first step is obviously to find out what her interests are, but equally, to share your own. This happens through genuine conversation, by asking open-ended questions and actively listening, and also by being passionate and articulate about what excites you. When you discover a mutual love for hiking, a certain type of music, a particular author, or even a quirky hobby, it's like finding a key. It unlocks new avenues for connection, and provides natural reasons to spend more time together that don't feel forced or overtly like a date initially, if you're still testing the waters. It's not enough to just know you have shared interests. You need to actively engage in them together. Chapter 10. The Allure of the Unknown. Cultivating Mystery and Independence. Cultivating mystery and maintaining independence is key to avoiding the friend zone. There's an allure to someone who isn't an open book, who has their own life and passions. Revealing everything immediately and being constantly available loses that edge. A bit of mystery keeps her curious, and independence shows you're a whole person. So there you have it. Powerful strategies to help you navigate away from the friend zone and towards romantic connections. Remember, it's about understanding attraction and presenting the best version of yourself. Demonstrate your value and show your romantic interest clearly and respectfully. Avoiding the friend zone requires self-awareness and courage. Value yourself and don't settle for platonic crumbs. Implement these tips as guiding principles and keep growing. You have the power to change your dating outcomes. Pick 1 or 2 tips and start applying them today. Let me know in the comments below. I read them. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.